have. Okay, hello yogis. This is a core power flow. Okay, esto es un flow de core power, de vamos a trabajar el abdomen, la fuerza abdominal. No voy a usar props, so there's no props in this class. I don't have yoga blocks. I think that this class is going to be great for people who want a quick core workout, un como trabajo duro del core en poco tiempo, okay? Va a ser como intenso y eso, no necesitas nada, entonces vamos a empezar a calentarnos. Okay, so we're going to start to warm up just our breath a little bit. We are going to do a little bit of like Kapalabhati breathing, getting ourselves like energized, okay? Just remember, those are short bursts of exhales, so recuerda como esos son exhalaciones rápidos, la inhalación sucede naturalmente, okay? Vamos a hacer como 2 rondas más. We're going to do a couple more rounds of that breath. Short exhales, the inhale happens naturally all through the nose, just to kind of connect to our core muscles. Good, let's start to warm up a little bit. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up, inhalo. Exhale, twist to the side, warming ourselves up, twisting through the torso. Giro hacia mi costado. And then other side, inhale through center. Inhalamos arriba, and then el otro lado. Breathe in here. Let's come back through center, inhale. Vuelvo al centro, inhalo, and then hacia mi costado, exhalo. Get a nice side stretch. Here, really reach through the fingertips. Intenta como que llevar los deditos de la mano más lejitos. Other side, right? Pressing down into the floor, keeping the sit bones grounded. Mantengo mis isquiones así enraizados. And we're going to come through center again. All right, so facing the front of the mat, one shin in front of the other, okay? Vamos a doblarnos hacia adelante and explorar un poco las caderas. ¿Cómo se sienten? Y camina tus manos hacia tu lado, hacia tu costado, okay? Puede ser izquierdo o derecho. So walk the hands over to the side, get again another side stretch. And we want to start cultivating that ujjayi breath. Así que empiezo a cultivar mi respiración, right? So switching sides. Switch the legs first. Cambio la pierna primero. Y así mismo como hacia adelante. So folding forward again. And then walk the hands out to the side. Camina las manos nuevamente hacia tu costado. Mantén los brazos activos. So again, arms nice and engaged, and just focus on the breath. Okay, and then we are going to sit up. We're going to come into butterfly pose, okay? Junto los pies, coming into la mariposa. And then we're going to do some seated cat and cow. So pull your chest forward. Inhalo. And then kind of round the spine in. Yeah. We're going to pull the chest forward. Inhale. And then curl it back into cat. Continúa así, abrimos el pecho. And then exhala como gatito. Yeah, tilting the pelvis forward and back. Pelvis adelante y atrás. Uy. Feels so good. Oh, se siente rico. Okay, then we're going to open the legs wide. Entonces, abre las piernas como en Upavishta Konasana. Like a little narrower Upavishta Konasana, you know, just kind of open legs, a little wider than your mat, folding forward. And then we're coming into boat pose, okay? Navasana o Paripurna Navasana, junto piernas y brazos estirados. And we're gonna go back through that little sequence. So pies juntos, feet together, and then again, kind of like fold forward into your butterfly. Open the hips, which feels delicious. And then as you come up, again, that kind of like a little narrower, okay? Un Upavishta Konasana, un poco más like angosto, like no tan abierto, pero igual me doblo. And then back into Paripurna. Y regreso a Paripurna Navasana. One more time, una vez más, yogis, junto los pies. Feet together, fold forward. Again, lift the torso, inhalo el torso, y abre las piernas, opening the legs, folding forward here. Upavishta. Y cuando subes, again, Paripurna Navasana. Beautiful. Downward facing dog, perro boca abajo. Okay. And let's continue our warm-up, continuando como nuestro calentamiento. Mueve los pies, las rodillas. So a nice warm-up for the joints, moving the knees, moving the ankles. Kind of explore your yoga mat. Déjate como explorar la colchoneta. And Uddiyana Bandha is our, like Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha core. So we really want to, the three bandhas really, connect to them, conectándonos con los tres bandhas principales. So chin in, mete el mentón. Suelo pélvico. Good, and then we're going to come into a lizard lunge, right foot forward, okay? El pie derecho por fuera de la mano derecha, y bajamos la rodilla izquierda, y antebrazos en el suelo. So bring the forearms to the floor if it feels good and stretchy for you. And right into that lizard lunge, opening the hip, looking forward. And then back into downward facing dog. And now the left side, okay? So ahora sí, pie izquierdo, adelante, bajamos rodilla derecha. And then again, forearms down, otra vez, antebrazos sobre la colchoneta. Breathe here. Breathe in here. Feels so nice to open up the hips. We want to start with that because we're going to be doing lots of abs. Short and sweet. Downward facing dog. Perro boca abajo. Okay, we're going to start with a beautiful classic vinyasa flowy move. So right leg up, pierna derecha hacia el cielo, dobla la rodilla y otra vez, like abro la cadera. Again, just open your hip and enjoy that openness. And then we're going to take the right knee to the right armpit. Llevo la rodilla derecha hacia la axila derecha, and I'm going to take it down to the wrist. La llevo hacia la muñeca, and then back to the armpit. And I'm kind of gliding, so knee to wrist, and then as I exhale, I hike it up to the armpit. So again, knee to wrist. As I exhale, I hike it up to the armpit. And then step back into that kind of extended downward dog, pierna derecha arriba. So we're going to try with the left leg. Inhala, pierna izquierda hacia el cielo y flexiona la rodilla y abrimos la cadera. Open the hip. Luego llevamos rodilla hacia la axila. And again, we're kind of gliding down. Knee to wrist. Exhale, knee to armpit. Knee to wrist. Exhale, knee up to armpit. Just kind of moving that knee up and down. Right, one more time, knee to wrist, and then again, like knee to armpit. And then reaching it up and back. Beautiful, and then back to downward facing dog. Good, let's inhale to high plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. And then inhale, up dog, and open it up and get that beautiful stretch. Beautiful stretch. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, we're gonna come into pigeon pose, right leg forward. Así, la paloma, pierna derecha adelante. Keep yourself tall. Keep yourself like nice and high here, right? So kind of press down with the hips. Then we're gonna sit on the right hip and bring that left leg forward and just kind of like tap the mat with the heel. And again, I'm gonna take the left leg, swing it back and lift up. So me siento sobre la cadera derecha, llevo el pie izquierdo adelante, toco el suelo y vuelvo hacia atrás. Y otra vez, like paloma, alta. Okay, so one more time. Right hip, I sit, and that left foot kind of taps forward, and then I bring it back and press down. Good. Downward facing dog. Perro boca abajo. Left side, pierna izquierda adelante, paloma. Left side, get a good stretch, open up. Again, kind of like press into the mat, press the back foot into the floor. So empuja abajo, ¿no? Con el pie, con la cadera. Y vas a sentarte sobre el glúteo izquierdo y llevar la pierna derecha adelante como tocar el piso. Ajá. Y otra vez, lleva la pierna atrás, leg back, and then I press down and I get that beautiful hip extension. And then right foot forward, pie derecho adelante. Yep. And then back. Good, and press down, lift up. Yes, one more time. Una vez más. Y hacia atrás. Okay, downward facing dog, perro boca abajo. Okay, and then right leg up into the air, pierna derecha arriba. Y lleva el pie por fuera de la mano. So right back into that kind of lizard lunge. I'm gonna stay high in this lizard lunge. So mantente like alta. Okay, y aquí vamos a llevar la rodilla izquierda hacia la pantorrilla derecha. So left knee to right calf. And then I'm gonna step back into that lizard lunge. I'm gonna do it again. As I exhale, left knee to right calf. And then step back into that lizard lunge. And now I'm gonna take that right leg and kind of bring it down a little bit, extend that left leg, rather, down into that like dragon lunge, and then bring it back into my lizard lunge. So I'm going into dragon and then stepping back into lizard. One more time. Left knee comes forward, I tap kind of the calf, extend that left leg, yep, and then step it back into my lizard lunge. Good. Downward facing dog. So left leg into the air. Inhalo, pierna izquierda arriba. And then left foot into lizard, okay? Pie izquierdo, okay? La lagarta, okay? Cuando exhalas, la rodilla hacia la pantorrilla, so knee to calf. And then step back. And try it like twice, right? So exhale, bring that knee to calf. Step back into that lizard lunge. And then this time we add dragon. Ahora esta vez agrego como dragón. Extiendo la pierna y vuelvo atrás. Ok, una vez más, dragón. Adelante y atrás. Downward facing dog. Inhalo, plancha. Exhala, chaturanga. And then inhalo, perro que mira hacia arriba, so open the chest. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Exhalo, perro boca abajo. Beautiful, we're gonna get off our hands. Okay, voy a volver a sentarme. Okay, y Paripurna Navasana. Nuevamente, boat pose. Okay, and we're gonna do boat pose to half boat. And half boat is like, I think, one of the best core poses ever. So extend the legs forward, extiende las piernas hacia adelante, right? Brazos también. And we're in half boat. And you wanna really kind of squeeze the legs together, right? Again, this is bandhas, so ribs in, chin down, nice deep breaths, nice slow breaths, I should say, right? And then from half boat, we're gonna try to go up into full boat, legs still extended. So I'm gonna add my breath to this, right? I'm gonna come back to that half boat, inhale, and then exhale up. Inhale here, exhale up. Inhalo y exhalo para subir. Inhale, exhale. Continuous movement. Good, let's try 5 more. 5 más. Beautiful. Excellent. Downward facing dog. Perro boca abajo. And right away, right leg up. Ahora sí, pierna derecha arriba. Knee to armpit. Rodilla a la axila. And then muñeca y axila. Muñeca y axila. So wrist and armpit. Good. We've got one more time. Whew. Downward facing dog. Perro boca abajo. Pierna izquierda arriba. Y exhala, axila. Again, knee to wrist to armpit. Knee to wrist to armpit. Muñeca, axila, muñeca, axila. Eso. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Again, I'm going to come into plank pose, inhalo plancha. Chaturanga Dandasana. Estiro. Stretch it out, upward facing dog. And then exhale, down dog. Good, we're gonna take a little yogi seat again. And I'm right back into my boat pose, okay? Boat pose is just like the best, okay? So we're back into boat pose. And now I'm going side to side, okay? So I'm gonna lean back, así voy de lado a lado. Codos de lado a lado. They don't have to touch. No tienen que como tocar, right? But I wanna feel the obliques, so I'm really twisting with that like in mind. Quiero sentir los oblicuos. Así que giro, like sintiéndolos, right? Remember, exhale with effort. Exhalo con esfuerzo. Yes. Yes. There we go. Downward facing dog. Perro boca abajo. Beautiful. Okay, next thing, we're coming into a side plank. So right hand forward. Yeah, I'm gonna come onto the side. Coming into Vashisthasana. Okay, side plank, Vashisthasana. And what we're gonna do is lower the hips y elevo. Getting those side obliques again. So bajo cadera y elevo. Inhalo y exhalo. Again, inhale, exhale. There we go. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Nice. Switching sides. Okay, so again, left hand forward. Cambio de lado, Vashisthasana. Right arm up. As I inhale, I drop. As I exhale, I lift. Right, so inhale and then, yeah, exhale. Nice, you guys. Good. One more. Beautiful. And then again, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Flow through your vinyasa. Vinyasa. And then exhale, down dog. And again, we're just gonna kind of like do our little yogi seat again on the floor. Okay, beautiful. Coming back to our boat pose, all right? This is the last round of these like boat, half boat sit-ups, okay? I guess you could call them. Última ronda, okay? So here we go. Aquí vamos. Beautiful. Do it with your breath. With your breath. Five more. Beautiful. And back to our downward facing dog. And you know what's coming next. Ya sabes lo que viene. Okay. Última ronda de like rodilla, axila, muñeca. Okay. So pierna derecha arriba, right leg up. Knee to armpit. And then again, to the wrist, to the armpit, to the wrist, to the armpit. Down slow, up slow. Okay, lento. Ya, y perro boca abajo. Okay, y aquí respiro. Other side, okay, el otro lado, right? Pierna izquierda. La axila to the armpit. And then nice and slow. Lento. Muñeca. Axila. Two more. And then one more. Back into that downward facing dog. Good. My little seat and my Russian twists. Okay, torsiones rusas, right? Again, junta manos, eleva los pies y voy lado a lado. Atrás. Yes. Yes. Nice. Perro boca abajo. Adho Mukha. Down dog. All right, and then Vashisthasana. Coming into our side plank. Right arm forward. Mano derecha. Adelante, brazo izquierdo. And then bajo la cadera y elevo. Bajo la cadera y elevo. There we go. Two more. There we go. Y cambio de lado. So left hand forward, mano izquierda. Giro, Vashisthasana, right? We're almost there, guys. Ya casi. Okay, brazo derecho arriba. And then lower the hip. Exhale up. Yep, again, nice and slow. Lento. Beautiful. We have three more. Tres más. Good. And one more. Excellent. Okay. Move through your vinyasa. Fluye por tu vinyasa. Downward facing dog. And then find your breath, right? Like just take a few breaths. Okay, and this time we're gonna lie down on our bellies. Okay, so yes, we're coming to the floor, which is nice. Just kind of like a little moment, getting off the wrists, opening up the chest. Okay, so Sphinx pose, el esfinge. And if you've practiced with me before, si has practicado conmigo antes, like I like to call these Sphinx pose roll-ups. And I believe I got this from one of my teachers, and they're like awesome. So tuck your toes under, right? Recoge los deditos de los pies. And we're just gonna start by lifting like slowly the rib cage, slowly the belly button, the pelvis. Yep, nice and slow, super lento. And then the thighs, drawing it in. And then finally the knees, and you're in forearm plank. Okay, so plancha de antebrazos. Yeah, we are in forearm plank. And then from forearm plank, we're gonna go to high plank, right? And then from high plank, back to forearm plank. Yeah. And I'm gonna lower down the same way, like knees, thighs, pelvis, abdomen, and then opening up. Yeah, stretch. Nice, we get to do that again. So toes tucked, and again, just kind of lento. Subo costillas, abdomen, pelvis, muslos, y finalmente rodillas. Breathe here. And then forearm plank to high plank. And then in our high plank, we're gonna lift the right leg, and we're just got like some toe taps. Okay, solo toco el piso con mi pierna derecha. Solo toco el piso. Yep. 3 more. 2, 1. Okay, and then left leg, toe tap. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, 5. 1 more. Nice. And then sitting down. Beautiful, you guys. Okay, here we are, we're still here. We're gonna lie on our backs. Okay, and then what we're gonna work on here is just kind of like our upper rectus abdominal muscles, okay? So ahora la parte alta del recto abdominal. So kind of draw the pelvic bone towards the ribs. Lleva el hueso pélvico hacia las costillas. And then lift the head. Yeah, lift kind of the chin. Keep the chin close, okay? So we're gonna take the right leg and extend it out. Okay, pierna derecha adelante. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of like lean over to the right. Me inclino hacia el lado derecho. And then bring your hands together like a pizza, okay? And we're gonna start to move the right leg, again, like toe tap, up and down. Okay, so right leg is up and 2, right? And if you want an extra challenge, okay, si quieres otro reto, like agrega la pierna izquierda adelante. So then the left leg is also forward, and you're in like that hollow position. Yeah, 2 veces más. Good, and then switch sides. So opposite side, right? Again, so I've got my right leg forward, my left leg is going up. Yep, and we've got 10 on this side. 2, good. 3, 4, yep, 5. Beautiful. Nice, 1 more. Beautiful. All right, so doblamos las rodillas, and now I'm doing heel taps, side to side. So knees bent, heel taps, right? Tocando como, solo los talones, de lado a lado, right? Keeping that like kind of Uddiyana Bandha, Mula Bandha, side to side. 10 veces cada lado, right? 10 on each side. So 3 más. 2. Yes. 1 more. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. So we've got 1 more round of that. Una, like vueltita más. Right, so coming into our plank, and we get to lie down on the floor. Sphinx pose. Okay. Yes, our plancha, our Sphinx. We're coming into that forearm plank, like the roll up. So roll up slow, okay? Recuerda, levántate like super lentita. Okay, so costillas, abdomen, yeah, pelvis. Okay, here we are. Aquí estamos. Forearm plank. And then high plank. Yeah. Okay, and then in high plank, 10 veces pierna derecha. So 10 times right leg toe taps. Yeah. Beautiful. Nice stability. One more. Good. Left leg. 2. Good. 3, 4, 6, 9. Beautiful. And then back down to that forearm plank. So vuelvo a plancha de antebrazos. And we're lowering again really slow to the floor, right? So knees, thighs. There we go, like pelvis, belly, open up. Beautiful. And then again, downward facing dog, perro boca abajo. Exhalamos. So we get to sit on the floor again. Me siento, bueno, me acuesto again on our backs, right? And you know where this is going. Again, oblique work, okay? So coming with that left leg, or I should say, I'm sorry, the right leg is gonna be the one that's moving, the left leg is forward. Okay, pierna izquierda adelante, the right leg is moving. So giramos hacia el lado derecho. And then 10 times each side. So 10 veces, right? Right leg. Here we go. 3, 4, beautiful. 7, good. 8, 8. All right, and then switching sides. Cambio de lado. So again, right leg stretch, left leg up. Yes, and then when you exhale, you lift that leg. So three more, guys. Yeah. Y dos. Y uno. And then para terminar, okay? Right? Our little like heel touches or taps, right? So lifting up and toquecitos. Toquecitos hacia los talones. Do. 10 veces de lado a lado. Wee. Nice. And then as you come down, rest. And we get a beautiful stretch in bridge pose. So vamos a estirar en puente, right? Exhalamos. Lifting up. Engage through the glutes. Breathe here. It just feels really good today, bridge pose. Se siente delicioso. And then just come down and we're gonna kind of windshield wipers those legs side to side, okay? So those are some of my like fave core moves. Algunos de mis like movimientos favoritos para el core. Y I don't know, como se dieron cuenta, mientras más like lento, mejor. You know, when you're working with just your body and your mat, cuando solo trabajas, you know, cuerpo, mat, nada más, tienes que estar like super consciente y sentirlo y trabajar las bandas, you know. Es un proceso, ¿sabes? Es algo como que de mucha conexión interna. Okay. So give your knees a little hug. Okay, abrázate. I'm gonna return to seated, so like do a little roly-poly para sentarte. Wee. Okay. And we're gonna open the legs again and stretch in that like kind of narrow upavishta. Okay, así que me estiro hacia adelante. Yes. And then in this pose, apunta los pies. Okay, so in this pose, point your toes forward. And then we're gonna take like that seat again. Me siento otra vez. And I like to bring my hands in the center. A mí me gusta como poner mis manos hacia el centro. And we're just going to lift as we exhale the legs. So levanto las piernas con la exhalación. Yes. And then again, heel tap. Okay, solo toquecito con el talón. Y, yep. 2. There we go. 3. 5. And again, 10. Nice. Y junto las plantas de los pies, we go back to butterfly. So feet together, and we just get that nice butterfly stretch. This time, a little bit deeper. We're taking the time. Ahora sí, estamos tomando el tiempo de soltar un poco la cadera. Stretch. Like, oh, qué rico. Qué delicia. It feels so good. Perro boca abajo, down dog. Step back. And stretch your hip again. So right leg up, pierna derecha abierta, arriba. This time when you come into pigeon pose, ahora sí, cuando entras en paloma, like, let's get stretchy with it. Okay, ahora sí, paloma, like, I'm gonna just like chill. Yeah, Ahora sí, a chilear, a soltar cadera. That was hard, like, oof. You know, eso sí fue duro. Fue ouch. You know? It was a good practice. It was short and spicy. And we practiced this move where we took the left leg forward at the beginning of the class. So we're going to do that now and come right into Janu Shirsasana. Entonces ahora sí voy a hacerlo. But like stretchy, stretchy. Folding into head to knee pose. Ahora sí me inclino hacia Janu Shirsasana. Este micrófono. Yes. My shirt rides up and then the microphone is in my face. Technical difficulties. Dificultades técnicos. 5 more breaths, you guys. And then as you inhale, lift up, reach the arms up, twist to the right. Torsiona hacia el lado derecho. Yeah. Again, stretch out the core. Yes, beautiful. We're gonna do a little lift here. Hago una levantada. Levanta el glúteo. Open up. Again, just like stretch hips and the belly after all of that. Oh my gosh, feels so good. Okay. Perro boca abajo. Down dog. Okay, left leg open, pierna izquierda, arriba, abro. And juicy paloma. Paloma. Yes. Como digo, las caderas. Qué rico. Y suelta. Let it go. Déjalo ir. Lots of tension. I mean, core work is tension. Mucha tensión. Like, cuando trabajas el core, I mean, de eso se trata, you know? Our next pose is Janu Shirsasana or head to knee pose. Okay, siguiente postura. Okay, Janu Shirsasana, así que la derecha adelante. And we get to forward fold. Again, this is where the microphone. Aquí, otra vez. Twist, you guys. Vamos a torsionar el lado izquierdo. Looking back. Oof. Yes. And then as you exhale, lift. So mientras exhalas, levanta cadera. Ábrete. Beautiful. Hermoso. Okay, y vamos a volver a la postura sentada. So we're coming back to just that. Yeah. Hello again. We are coming back. Ya volvemos, okay, a la postura sentada. And I'm going to practice my Ujjayi Pranayama. So deep breaths. Respira profundo. Thank you for practicing. Gracias por practicar. Namaste. Thanks, yogis.